Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Miniature Showcase. The Miniature Showcase takes a look at different miniatures from different manufacturers. Today, we're going to have a look at miniatures from Big Squiddo Games. These miniatures are from their Feudal Japan range. Yes, I'm on a slight Japanese binge at the moment, and while I'm at it, I might as well just put together as many different miniature companies that make Feudal Japanese miniatures. All the miniatures featured here are made from metal and stand at 28mm and are painted by SL. But let's get back to Big Squiddo Games. So Big Squiddo Games provides gamers and painters around the world with the largest selection of female miniatures out that can be summed up as dressed as the miniature might choose to dress herself. So I think this is really, really great. I like the angle from this company simply because it's always great when a company knows exactly what it's doing. Now, what we're going to do today is there are going to be three parts. First, I will show you the different sets, and then we'll look at each miniature on its own. And then we're going to have a look at the basing because I think the basing on these figures were done really, really nice. I would like to, I think these figures are based using either gamer grass or army painters flock or tuft. But regardless, this would give you an idea on how to enhance your bases, but that will be in part three. So let's start off with part one. And part one are the sets. So the first set we're going to have a look at is the Hojo and Masako set. Now there's some flavor text that comes with each of these figures. The flavor text for the Mojo Masako set is this. Mojo Masako became the only female shogun following the death of her husband. She's shown here in non-combat clothing for some political negotiation with carefully selected female bodyguards. So let's have a look at the figures. Now, this figure over here is, I would assume, is Hojo Masako. I like the fact that he used green as the main color. It's got this very nice jade regal green. But if you have a look at the figure, let me see if I can zoom in here. The sculpt is quite nice. Let me see, come on. Yes, there you go. Sculpt is quite nice, and with this figure, I don't think there was much wash. It was just gentle highlight or maybe just one layer of paint. But as you can see, it comes out really, really nice. If you're doing detail, look at the detail over here. I would like to think that the detail for the the neck part or the collar part, well, although a little bit, adds to everything, and it coordinates with the sash as well. Very nice, not overtly blended, but flat and nice, but with subtle highlights. I think that actually the highlight job here, I don't know whether it shows on camera, but it actually doesn't. It's very subtle and very, very nice, and I like the way it turned out. Very nice looking figure. The designs on the sleeve, I think is I think sculpted on. I'm not really sure, but yeah, very nice looking figure. So that's Hojo. Now let's look at one of our handmaidens. This is one of the handmaidens, and as you can see, the original color paint job in the promo is white. I kind of like the white one, but this is done quite nicely as well. And as you can see, the sash is kind of great because if you were to put them all together, you can see they all come from they all use the same sash, which perhaps unites the set. So if you're having this on its own, you can tell, okay, this comes from the same set. But if you look at the figure, the pose is quite nice. It's quite action packed, as you can see the menace as she unsheathes the katana. Very nice looking figure. The third figure we're gonna have a look at, which comes from the set, is this figure over here, and this is the handmaiden with armor. Now, as you can see, it's braided armor, so got a lot of different colors happening, which is quite nice. The um figure is, I mean, all the detail is in there, as you can see, and I like the fact I didn't know this, but if you look at the headpiece over here, the top knot seems to come out of what looks like a protective head cloth thing, which I thought was quite nice. Very nice looking. Um, Again, Some colors are green, which basically means it puts this figure with this figure very nicely into a nice little like group. So yeah, these three figures um, are from the Hojo um, Masako set. Hojo Masako and Handmaidens, a very nice set. Okay, the next set we're gonna have a look at is the Yumiko and Nagisa set. Yumiko, I would assume this is Yumiko. I mean, I'm working with what's left and what's right, so I'm not so sure what she seems to be doing over here. It looks as if she's got something in a bowl. I'm not so sure what she's doing, but she is carrying a spear. I think it's called a yari, if I'm not mistaken. But also like how the sculpt makes it look like she's not, you know she's more of a guard. So the hair looks rather business like, if you can put it that way. But look at here, look at the little bit of design on the bottom of the kimono. It's actually very nice, very pretty. Just a little bit of detail like that, and it goes a long way. Look at that, very nice. And then you got Nagisa, and Nagisa is she's carrying a Yumi. This one also it looks quite nice, and again, as you can see, he's gone in and he's painted the little like designs at the bottom of the kimono. I thought was really nice. It doesn't need much work, but I appreciate the amount of work that went in to do this, because while the rest of the figure is pretty flat, you've got this little bit here, which if you look properly, you appreciate what's happening. I mean, if you look at this from a distance, you can't really see what's going on, but up close, yeah, totally appreciate the work that's gone out with this one. Now the next set is the Shinobi sisters. Uh, the flavor text reads, little is known about this pair, including whether or not they are indeed sisters, or even how many of them there are. Such is the way of the shinobi. And let's have a look at them right here. You got the first one. She's in a sort of a I want it's I think it's a ninja outfit, but it's green. Um, I think having it green is also quite nice because it blends into the jungle, I guess, if you intend to be moving stealthily in the jungle. I mean, if you dress in full black, I suppose this would you'd stand out. So having green is perhaps each one of the sisters is into more day operations, I guess, with the green happening. But yeah, good choice of color, and the pose is very nice, very nice pose. You can see that one of the sisters is ready to stalk. The face sculpts on all these figures are really quite good. Next up is the other sister, and again with the bow, or the Yumi. I think this pose is a bit awkward, but it looks maybe like she's just landed, or she's just fired a bow. But compared to the rest, this color scheme is actually quite muted. But if you look at this, it looks really good. Looks really good. Simple. Like I said, don't forget the details. Pick the details out, and you'll probably be alright. Just with the details. Next set is the Ona Bugesha set. Ona Bugesha, and the flavor text on this one is 3 miniatures for your feudal Japan wargaming with katanas. And let's look at them over here. These are all in armor. Very nice, colorful armor. So this is before they start lacquering up their armor, much later. As you can see over here, there's a nice play with like different shades of a particular color, which while keeps the palette small, it helps make everything look quite, you know, I don't know, beautiful and colorful without it looking all over the place. Strong use of a particular kind of color, and as you can see over here, there's also some design on the I think the under kimono. Very nice touch. It's a very nice touch. Next up is yeah, another one. Also in green armor. I like the fact that he's kept the color palette for the figures he's painted from Bat Squiddo, small. And that's kind of great because when they put them all together, there's a sense of unity for all of them. It unites all the figures together. And if you're doing a war band, it's easy to like band them up, I guess. Very nice pose. About to pull out, unsheath the katana right there. Now the final figure is this one. This one has a little bit more color in it. I mean, if not done properly, a mix of a lot of different colors would be a mess. But green and red actually complement each other, to be honest. But the most important thing with doing female figures for me is the face, and I think all the figures here actually nail the faces quite nicely. Which I think is a huge plus. I mean, it's one thing to say they're believable female figures, but having them look a little bit fey or a little bit softer because well, you can actually have a harder looking figure, which I'm going to show you in a while. But I like how this one turned out because it's a very brutal or hard, gentle face, I guess. Very nice color scheme. I like it. Next up is this figure. It's also from Bat Squiddo Games as well. It's from the Feudal range, but this is one of the figures from a set. But as you can see over here, no face, right? But the fact that it's a Bat Squiddo game, you know that it's a female character. Not that it matters though. I mean, a good miniature is a good miniature. A good sculpt is a good sculpt. And as you can see over here, there's some designs done on the jacket part or hakama part, which is I think kind of great. But a lot of color on this one though. A lot of color, which makes it kind of good. Let's have a look at the face really quick. Yeah, he's wearing a mask of sorts. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then there's this figure here. This is it looks a bit awkward though. But yeah, it's very nice. I mean, it's in a it's post swipe, I guess post slash. I think if I was gonna say the use of color here is a bit softer than the rest, which is well, it's a choice, I guess. But the head looks a bit awkward though, but nice figure nevertheless. Nice figure nevertheless. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna run through all the figures and give you a nice little like dolly look so you can actually enjoy all the figures on its own. Perhaps just a little bit of music. Right, so what I want to say before we end the video is let's have a look at the bases, because each of these bases has a lot of effort in it. Now, when you're doing miniatures like this, right, and you work on the base, right, it actually puts more into the figure. It's one thing for making bases that tell a story, but a lot of folks in my local group tend to just use the static grass and not worry about the tufts. But look how the tufts look. Like this one. I mean, this is just a plain tuft. I think it's with like white-ish flowers. There's one over here which uses the red flowers, and red flowers with a character that's in a blue kimono, which I thought was quite nice. And as you can see, the kimono has some I'm gonna call it sakura, I guess, red flowers on it. So that's kind of nice. Let's look at some others. This one, for example, this is the Hojo figure. Some yellow flowers, you know, to complement the green kimono. And then even the action figures, right? Using more than just one kind of tuft actually helps. It actually makes the base live a little bit or breathe a little bit, because it shows that I know it's, you know, nature is never is random, right? So you're not gonna know what you're gonna get when you like walk into a piece of terrain. And as you can see here, you know, there are bits of ground which has no flock on it. This is something to think about when you're doing your flocking. Simply because a good base does more for the figure than you think. There's a lot. So hopefully this small section of basing using you know, some tufts and stuff like that help. I'm not so sure where he got the tufts from, but you can actually get good tufts from Army Painter. Army Painter makes some good tufts, and Gamer's Grass makes some good tuft as well. In fact, Gamer's Grass have the tuft sets, so you can actually have a sample of I think 4, maybe 8 different types of flowers, because they got the different sets, right? You got the meadow sets, so you can actually have, for example, if you're going to build paint figures that you want to have a more meadowy kind of feel, there are tufts for that, which I thought was kind of nice. They do the job for you. You don't have to think of it much. So that's pretty much it. That's the basing. If you're doing basings for figures, I highly recommend, you know, giving the tufts a go. If you haven't tried the tufts, why not? Give them a go. They might actually add to the figure, and especially for the figures whom, you know, you want to call characters, or you want to call special figures, because it definitely adds a lot to the whole look. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's miniatures from Big Squiddo Games. I'm really happy that I got a chance to feature figures from this company. I like the fact that the company has a very strong idea of what it wants to do. If you haven't, why don't you head on over to the Big Squiddo Games website and have a look. Now, let me just say that Big Squiddo Games in no way has done any contribution or is paying for this video in any way, and I'm doing this review simply because I think, you know what, the figures are nice and they deserve a look. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I want to feature more figures from more manufacturers, you know, like I said, you know, bring them into the more mainstream light. So whenever you're choosing the different games you want to play, you have a bigger choice of miniatures to choose from. So that's pretty much it. If you like what I do, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Why not? And don't forget to enjoy painting